Hello everyone, welcome to episode 24 of the Ashton Gate 8 with me, Ringo FM. So, interesting time has happened since we last left off. I've started on here because I didn't want anyone to sort of see what's been going on. Believe it or not, I'm still not on the favourite personnel list. I think that's harsh, to be honest. But a couple of changes have happened. We'll talk about what's been happening then. The Chelsea game, we got absolutely stuffed 3-1. 3-2, we finally beat West Ham. Beat Luton in the Cup. That was just literally a completely rotated team. Beat West Ham 3-2. Pascal Juan Estrada scored an absolute worldie in the last minute. Do you know what? I actually think Edson Alvarez scored a worldie in this game as well. Can we see the goals? Should we look at the goals for this match? I think we need to. There was a couple of worldies because West Ham have got a new manager now and are playing like this 5-back formation. And yeah, at least two of these goals are ridiculous. So the first goal was from Tom Cannon, who is, I think, starting to find his feet in the Premier League now. Proper poacher, just gets into the area. That's a good goal. It's the type of goal we score quite often. West Ham then scored off a corner with Tommy Soucek. What can you do? Timo Horn had to play that game because of injuries to the two other goalkeepers who are now both fit. And then Kratzig gets it out wide, finds Mason Greenwood. He whips one into the back post. Look at that for a ball. Francelinho heads it in. And then this goal here, this is the Estrada one. Look at this. He's playing as an anchorman, bearing in mind. Look at this finish. Couple of touches out to feet and smashes it bottom corner. And then Edson Alvarez scores the best goal of the game. To be honest with you, this is just absolutely outrageous from Edson Alvarez. Look at this. Kudos to Alvarez. That is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous from two players who are anchormen. They don't really play as attacking midfielders. If you look at Alvarez, obviously, people will know him in real life. He's a ball winner. His long shots at 8, his finishing's 11. Absolutely outrageous goal. So yeah, that was that. And then an absolute ding-dong battle with Everton. Everton still flying high in the Premier League. They're up to 9th. I say flying high. But Christian Eriksen equalised in the 92nd minute for us. Paqueta got a penalty. Greenwood got a goal. Christian Bellic scored another good goal. We're going to have to show you this. I think we've just got players who can score worldies at the minute. So it might be something that we look at going forward. Look at this Everton team, by the way. Branthwaite, Pickford, Godfrey's Onana, Paqueta, Talisca, Buendia and Beto. They've just got a mad team. Tielemans, Brozier, like an absolute mental team. Doucouré, who's still on the transfer list at Everton, is one that we're still keeping an eye on. But let's have a little look at this goal from Bellic. So it was a free kick routine. Look at this. It's a full-on routine. He plays it to Bellic, back to Greenwood, back to Bellic, brings it down, smashes it, top corner. So I wanted to show that goal for this reason, is that if we look at the staff and we look at our set piece coach, we actually have a new one. Obviously, you remember Joseph Asamoah, the new gen guy who had 19 set pieces, but his the rest of his attributes weren't very, very good. So his contract was coming up. I didn't want to renew it, and I took the decision to terminate him. And I did say in a very, very early video, I will allow myself one search in terms of staff, not players, just staff. One search where I can just go and get someone. And Sergio Alegre had been at Barcelona since 2021. He's been at Qatar. He's got like a mad, I mean, even a scout, and I can't say it now, but he's got like full knowledge of Qatar and Saudi, got full knowledge of Spain. I mean, oh, yeah, there you go, Qatar and Spain, full knowledge. So he's got 17 for set pieces. He's a model professional, which is always good to have. 4-3-3 is something we might be looking at doing, so I thought, let's get him in. At least we've got a good coach there. But good determination, disciplining and motivating, and 15 tactical knowledge. So we've actually let him now just fully take control of all the set pieces. And that was one of the routines he come up with, that little 1-2 that they played with Greenwood. And it was Fallou Diouf was in the box. And before Greenwood took it, Diouf came short, as you've seen in that. And it dragged the defender out and just left all the space for Bellic. So, do you know what? An actual full-on routine. I'm really happy with that. Bellic just got 12 long shots and 8 finishing. He's got really good determination and like good ability and like good decisions as well. So I think it's something that we look to take advantage of. I'm still happy with sort of how it's going on, with how we're getting on. I'm tempted though to actually just change the tactical style, just back to like the normal direct counter attack. This one, so they're not as familiar with it, but it's more direct passing, slightly higher, playing for set pieces, distribute quickly and counter attack, and then just a low block. And see how we get on with that. Obviously, the set pieces are now going to be done by Sergio Allegri, so I don't have to worry about anything like that. The roles can still stay the same, but the actual tactical style changing up back up to just a normal counter attack, and then we do have our tried and tested and pretty much trusted 4-2-4, and then obviously this wing play 5-back, which we don't do. To be honest, I'm going to clear that slot. We never use it. Interesting then. Let's just see what the assistant managers think we could do now. So they don't think we're a counter-attacking team now. We've got a lot more technical players. So they're thinking wing play, 4-3-3, we did say that. A gegenpress, which I don't want to stick a 4-3-3 on gegenpress on. Or control possession. Do we train out 4-3-3, they think, is our best thing to do? Do we train out, from the back end of this season, a 4-3-3 control possession? And then make that the primary training tactic in pre-season and try and become a passing team. We have got players who can play in that role, but then obviously we do have the option of using a 10 as well, so we can change this up if need be. I think that's what we've got to do, and I think that's something that a lot of people tend to not do on Football Manager is they think of like a tactical style and they stick with it, and they don't adapt to the game. They don't adapt to what's going on. They don't adapt to their team. They just go, well, I've been playing a 4-2-3-1 gegenpress the entire time and now it's not working. And no, you got to adapt. The AI adapts to you. My biggest example is the left-hand side for us. For 2.5 seasons, I'd say, the left-hand side was an absolute, for us, was just like, this will get you wins, this will get you goals. Now it doesn't, because teams know that. So they mark the fullbacks out the game and mark the wingers out the game. So then I've got to try and play through the middle, which is why bringing Christian Eriksen in worked. Then now on to Christian Eriksen. So I've got to try and change it up again. And I think we need to adapt and look for that type of player that can adapt into that control possession style and maybe try and play a bit of football. Because we've seen, even though we play direct, we can keep the ball. And we've got some youth players who have come through. Arnal is already a homegrown player. That is lovely. Youth candidates who have been signed. Can I see the youth candidates? Here we go. Here's the youth candidates. Not a great intake from Giorgio Chiellini. It was his first one. It was a 3-star youth intake, I think. See if I can find it down here somewhere. Here we go. 2-star. It was a below average intake. All these players in green. I mean, look, there's a lot of 2-stars, half-stars. I was tempted to sign Elliot Turner, but he is unambitious. Just on this, before I go back into this, we're not going to put the face pack on anymore. I think that's what's slowing the game down, because we've already got too many faces in the game. Obviously got a proper face pack and then the regen face packs. I think that's what is slowing us down a bit. So you're just going to have to put up with the ugly lads. But we'll have a little look first with Kenny Bush. Low determination, as that seems to be the main thing for these youth players. But as an actual winger, playing out on the left there, he's fantastic, to be honest. Physically, great. Mentally, he's got great flair, bravery and aggression. He'll take his man on. He's got the legs with good stamina. He can dribble. He just needs to get that determination up. And I think we've got a very, very good winger in the making there. So I'm going to do my normal thing of bringing him up, putting him in a mentoring group. There's a lot going on at the minute. What does the assistant think? Where is he? Is he gone in there? He's not gone in there. But I think Tom Cannon might be the best one to put him with. Or Eriksen. Let's put him with Eriksen, because that should, in theory... Oh, he's not been brought up yet, that's why. We'll do that in just a second. So Kenny Bush has come in. I quite like the look of him. Dean Cole, a 5'10" centre-half, fairly ambitious. I don't think needs any mentor, and I think he will just naturally develop and develop his personality. Centre-half, good. He's good. He can cover out the fullback position. That's good for us. Can cover out at wing back. Arnal, the Spanish centre half, casual personality, which is a bit of a shame. He looks very good. He was brought in. If you look, Sergio Allegri brought him in. That's all. I know people do know this, but basically he's saying Nathan Beardsley, who's the under-18s fitness coach, and Sergio Allegri, they're the reasons he's come to the club. They must have knowledge of Spain. Obviously, Allegri does. Can, oddly enough, also play centre mid, and they think he could be a very good ball winner midfielder. So we'll keep an eye on Arnal's development. Declan Williams, look at this, lads. Look at this absolute man mountain of a 15-year-old. 6'6". 6'6" at 15 years of age, an absolute behemoth. He's from Taunton, so unfortunately he's not a Bristol born and bred. But he attributes Mickey Bell, who is our under-18s coach, Sergio Allegri, our set piece coach, 6'6", love it, and Andy Little, our under-18s fitness coach. So I think that says an awful lot about your under-18 coaching and the type of players they can bring through. I think this lad is just going to be an absolute just monster for us for years and years to come. Obviously, we are still trying to do this, the Ashton Gate 8. There's a lot of names on there. Tommy Conway, Sam Bell, all gone. Ronald Jones has dropped off a cliff. Charlie Frith looks like he's still going to be a decent pick. So I won't worry too much about him. But yeah, I mean, this guy, 19 determination as well. He's already signed to his youth contract. Can we? We need to tie him down now. I'm going to do that on camera. We're just going to give him a big fat contract as a youngster, $3,000 a week. He wants a 1-year deal. What, lad? What if we give you $6,000 a week on a 3-year deal? And we add a optional contract extension of 3 years. Yes. So we've just tied Declan Williams down for 6 years, and by which point he will be into his 20s, and I think will probably be one of our starting players. What a guy. He looks fantastic. Ewan Yeton, resolute personality. He attributes myself, Khalif Cisse, who is fairly professional, Curtis Fleming, who is a very, very good, resolute 15 determination as my assistant manager, and Steve Thompson, who was the under-21s assistant manager, which is a bit weird. So he attributes us with bringing him in. He's naturally a wing-back. Obviously, we're going to train him to play as a right-back, as like a wing-back on support, as that's what we do on that side. I like him. I like the look of him. I think he's going to be great physically already at this age. We've got 2, potentially 3 with Kenny Bush, Ewan Yeton and Declan Williams. We've got 3 lads who are very, very, very physical at this age, which is only a good thing. And then Justin Jevon, a left-footed left winger, 14 determination. Again, his flair is not great, so I don't know whether he's like a proper out-and-out winger or whether he's more of like a wide midfielder. I think eventually could probably be a centre mid. We'll just have to, get his double intensity up there. What one does Vision? Sorry, not Vision, Flair. What one does Flair? Crossing, ball control, first touch, dribble and technique. Do none of them train Flair? I suppose Flair's really, you've got it or you haven't, isn't it? We'll keep a close eye on Justin. Obviously, we do play left wingers quite a lot, and he'll be good. And then another really good goalkeeper, Connor Gibbs, a professional goalkeeper. Myself, Pat Mountain, who is the goalkeeping coach. He's a good goalkeeping coach. And then Giorgio Chiellini, who is a model professional. So he is the first one that attributes Chiellini with the reason he signed for Bristol. 6'5", 16-year-old goalkeeper in the under-18s. I mean, he is just sensational, isn't he? He's not accepted his contract yet, but we do have a contract offer in. And then I'll do what I normally do. And then obviously we speak about this quite a lot, is we look at the under-18s and we have a little look then and try and figure out who we've got and who can play where. Is there anyone who can sort of come up to the under-21s? Is there anyone that we're missing in the under-21s now with these under-18 players that we can sort of mix about? So we did mention goalkeeper. Gibbs has gone straight in at goalkeeper. Fantastic young player. Jevon on the left wing. They're rotating him with Kenny Bush, and I think that's the problem. Is we've got two left wingers there, but we do have Tommy Everett, who we are looking at rotating in. I think what we do is we bring Everett. He is 18 now, so naturally we take him as unavailable for the under 18s. We put him in the under 21s as we are doing. We're training him up to be a wing back on the right hand side. His determination is slowly creeping up. I do think he could be a good squad player for the next couple of years, Tommy Everett. So he's no longer in that position. Let's just, for argument's sake, then stick Jevon in there. Yates and Bond still in the middle. At the back, they've got Dean Cole and Declan Williams, who genuinely could be a centre-back pairing at the club for the next couple of years. Up front, they've got David Bartley, who is this guy who we're not quite sure there's a striker or a winger. I do think he's a left winger. He's only 16. This is the guy West Ham wanted. I'm tempted to already call him up to the under 21s and then let Dom Jackson and Josh Owen, actually. Do we need Josh Owen in the under 18s? Yeah, let's keep Josh Owen there. But Bartley, I think, could probably do a job in the under 21s. At the minute, we've got Morgan, who is still on contract for another year. So we'll look to his dribbling's gone up. His agility's gone up as well, George Morgan. So I think what we'll try and do is we'll try and tie him down to a new contract, loan him out for a season. That will allow somebody like, what's his name, Bartley, to come up into the under 21s and then let like Jackson. Oh, was it Owen? I'm talking absolute nonsense. I'm talking absolute wham. Matthew McIntyre, you're crap. Get out. Get out. So Bong can play there. Tell you what then, Bong can play there. Cole can be a DM, and then Owen can be the centre-back. There we go. Get McIntyre out of that team. So McIntyre's out. I think then what we need to do is we need to train Cole as an anchorman. Maybe just for the next month and just see how he plays for that month. So Dean Cole as an anchorman. Owen, who is a very good centre-half. He just needs to change his personality up. Do you know what? I think we need to mentor him as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no way of mentoring them in the under-18s. I don't think, anyway. So, again, correct me if I'm wrong. Please do. I'd like to be told I'm wrong, and it'd be an easier way of doing it. But I think, for the time being then, this is what the under-18s is going to look like. Beeden's getting better. His personality's getting better as well. He's still unambitious, but he's changing. So there's a bit of cover there in the under-18s. Under-21-wise then, there's a lot going on. We've got Hobbs, who is slowly getting better. He is only 16. If we look at his injury record, medical report, he did quite a big injury. But at 16, he damaged his knee cartilage. So we've had to try and maintain his recovery, but he has, you know what, he's done well. He's still managed 25 appearances. He's played 2 in the Pappy Johns, in the Pizza Cup, as Kev would say, and is capped at under the 18 level for England. So he's doing well. Everett then is now going to be the starting right wing back for the under 21s for the rest of the season. Centre backs then, it means that Lapham can come in and play centre-back. He had been playing left-back. Borza is returning from injury soon. Still got a couple of weeks left before he's considered fully fit. To be honest, I wouldn't expect him back in now until probably the Villa game. So I might not even bother. I might just keep Kratzig in there. Baird out on the right. Obviously, we do have Mully, who is returning from injury as well. We've got Shin, who is continuing his development in the under-21s. I just don't think he's quite there yet. We've got Yeboah out wide on the left, and then we've got Morgan up front. So we've got a nice selection of players to choose from in the under-21s and the under-18s currently. And then obviously we've got a lot of lads sort of rotated in here. We've just asked Fleming to pick the mentoring groups again. And he's put Kenny Bush in with Christian Eriksen, which I agree with. He's the young left winger, but he's not put in. What's his face? Who's the other young lad that we put in there? Where's the other young lad gone? Oh, he has. Harry Bond and Josh Owen. There with Romeo Frula. Unambitious and fickle. Harry Bond. I love Harry Bond, by the way. He's getting much better. But yeah, we've got. I don't want to say cause for concern, but we've got to remember the whole point of this save is to get sort of the 8 lads in from the academy into the first team, into the 11, and have the starting 11 be 8 lads from the academy, and then the rest of the team from signed players. Yeah, and then obviously we want to adapt the save as we go along. Gibbs has signed. Ronald Jones has been called up to the World Cup playoffs. He has played 1 game this season for Reading. I'm not very happy about that, by the way. I'm genuinely not happy about that. Ruben Sellers, you pervert, playing this guy instead. Which, I mean, you can understand, but don't sign 2 right-backs on loan and then stick one in the reserves. It doesn't make sense. So I think Ronald Jones, next season, we need to find either a better loan for him or we need to continue his development in-house. Cousins, oh, for God's sake, what is plantar fasciitis? He needs to see a specialist. So that is Shin not playing for the under-21s then. So we need, just when I thought we had it all figured out with the under-21s and the under-18s, goodness me. So Shin can't play there. Who else can play there? Luca Lynch or Alex Baird? I think Alex Baird goes in there and then Trayvon Mully goes in as a right winger. Not bad as an AP. Might be good for him to train up a little bit. One thing I did want to mention, we're talking about like shortlisted players and a couple of players we've been looking at. Garang Kual still hasn't signed that contract with Newcastle. Ilya Mariba, we could potentially bring in on a free. And I think if we are going to go to that 4-3-3, a Metzala is probably the way to go. But we do obviously have Trevor Grinsell, who has played as somewhat as like a DM. Carolero as a DM, as a Segundo Volante. I mean, if you think about it, Mariba's 23, 24. Grinsell is 17. Grinsell's got lots of time to develop as like a Metzala. I think he can definitely do it as well. Obviously not been the best loan. He's been an average player for Cambridge, I'd say. But Ilya Mariba's one we've been looking at for a little while. His scout report's quite good. He was last scouted in January by Jose Boto. I think he'd be a good pick. Obviously, he was very, very talented. Was touted to be a very, like, one of the next big things in Spanish football and ended up going to Leipzig. Had a decent enough loan spell at Valencia as well. If we look at his history, I can't see his history at Valencia, but I mean, he's played consistently for Valencia, hasn't really kicked on since he's got in at Leipzig, but not poor. 6.7, 6.67. Mainly substitute appearances. That to me says he's quite average for the Bundesliga, but I think he just needs, shoots from distance, arrives late in the area, tries tricks, runs with the ball often. If we look at his report, Freuler's obviously going, Alvin Sanchez. There's not many players who can play centre mid for us. If we are going to do that, we've got Shackleton, who was wanted by a Saudi club at one point, actually. But we've basically got Ericsson, we've got Hodser, Shackleton, Yates and Bond. We've got Ekdal who can cover there. Alvin Sanchez. We've got Bellick. So there's not an awful lot to pick from. And obviously with Grinsell coming back in as well. I think we're going to just ask what he'd want. Let's go. Let's put an offer in for Mariba. Star player though. The fact he took regular starter so quickly. Let's walk away from Mariba for now and we'll revisit him at a later date. But these are like the shortlisted players we've had. Obviously seen some of them. Anthony Gordon I'd still very much like to have in. He's still not playing for Newcastle, but he is like 25 now, so we need to be careful with that. Felipe Cruz is another one we've been looking at. He is also out of contract, a young right back. His potential has dropped off though, so we are just going to remove him from the shortlist. And then Winsley Batelli, he just wants too much money. He wants to be a star player. He's not there and will not be there for a while. And then this is the one I wanted to talk to you about properly. Is Dango Utara is now transfer listed to Bournemouth. He's not kicked the ball this season. But if you look when he has played in the Pappy Johns, in the Carabao and the Emirates FA Cup, and in friendlies, he has been sensational for Bournemouth. Bournemouth still, I mean, they're just a bit ahead of us, but Bournemouth still doing very, very well. I think if we can drop his transfer fee down, I think if we can drop his transfer fee down or spread it out, he represents a good sign. And obviously, we do have right wingers, but you've seen it obviously in the last video. Injuries are catching up with us. Again, like Ismail Diaz is now leaving the club. He's only a 2-star, 3-star player. He's going to Independiente in Ecuador. It didn't work. He was £1 million. We sold him for 4. It is what it is. We made money on him. There's still a bit of potential in Dango. He was scouted by Julian Ward, obviously our director of football, recently as the 22nd of March, so 2 days ago. He scouted Dango Utara. He likes the club. He likes me. I think it represents a good signing. We know what Dango can offer. I mean, if we can drop this down, let's just see if we can fleece them with installments. 3 installments of 500k. Now let's do 1 mil. That'll take it to 6 mil. Let's do 2 installments of 2 mil. That'll take it up to 8 mil, and then 1 big installment of 5 mil. That's 40. That takes it up to 14. They then want that. They're not getting a percentage sale. So if he plays 50 games, we'll give you an extra 2.5. So that would be 6 million out of this season's budget, which we've got 30 million, so that's fine. 333k the year after, 333k the year after, 333k the year after, by which point it'd be nearly 27. Yeah. And obviously, if we sell him in that time, we don't have to pay the money owed. Or you can write it off. You can write it off. I'm doing a Chelsea. I'm doing a 7-year contract Chelsea thing. We can write it off to amortization. But I think Dango Utara coming in as a rotation option on that right-hand side, because obviously at the minute, we've only really got... Why is it now showing up this nonsense? Show position issues. What does that do? What does position issues do? Obviously, I mean, they're saying he would be the best right winger. Cozy do. Francelinho Ju actually did play a game at right wing against West Ham, and he was very, very good. So that's another option we've got there. Cozy Dubry, DiPietri, who we're still not quite sure. I mean, we signed him for what, 8 mil? Do you reckon he's worth about 22? Not got a single assist in the league. He's only got 1 overall in all competitions in 9 starts, 14 substitute appearances with 1 goal. So I think DiPietri we can safely say has been a bit of a dud. Raekwon Nelson will get there, definitely will get there. And I've seen more than enough. He's still improving, even though he's not even playing for us. I think I need to make him available for the under-21s, actually. Even though he's not really playing. He's played a couple of Premier League matches, 1 start, 3 off the bench. But yeah, Dango coming back to the club, I think, represents very, very good value for money, and he's happy being a squad player. His wages aren't extortionate. 50 grand a week is very, very good. Let's bump it up to 55, see if he accepts that. He does. Dango Utara is coming back to the club. A very successful loan spell. He fits the method of signing players that we do, where we bring them in. That's nice, Romeo. We bring them in. We let them develop with us, and at the time that they come in, they offer us something that we don't have at that time, and then we've gone and signed them back like we did with Tom Cannon. But I'd say Tom Cannon is the warning. Tom Cannon's the warning that we don't want to give them A, too much money, and B, too high of a pick without restriction, pick best 11, too high of a bonus for playing. I think we need to be very, very careful with that. Pick without restriction, pick best 11. So that's what Curtis Fleming thinks is the best 11. Sorry, I'm just going off on a tangent here. Curtis Fleming. That's Giorgio Chiellini math. 10-10. So, yeah. I still don't think Nikola Kavlin is going to be very good. He's worth 30 million, though, the Croatian. I'm still not convinced with him. We might give him a couple of games just to see. But Seko's one to buy El Ittihad. That's interesting. Because he's not really done much for us other than the goal against Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, look how inflated the squad is. Obviously, ignore... Can I filter out people who... No. I was going to say, I wonder if I could filter out people who are in the under-21s. But, yeah, we just need to be careful. We've inflated the squad, and obviously we've got quite a few players out on loan. So I think the summer transfer window is going to be quite pivotal for us, rejigging the squad and deciding what we want to do. Arthur Okonkwo is going to be one that we look to sell. Osman Kamara, we will probably look to cash in on. Maybe Jaden Camerson as well. Tommy Conway is, I mean, he's gone back down to the Championship and done well. Is that his level? I don't know. Warrington will go. Ruddock will go. Adam Berry's done a lot of loans now. He's been at Boreham Wood and Mansfield and done quite well. Both probably look to cash in on him. Ronald Jones has got to come back. Rosiak has got to come back. He's developed well as like a right back. I would have liked him to play more as a right winger. He's played at DM a couple of times, interestingly. No, that was for us. Let's look at his form. I mean, he's 20 years of age. Yeah, he's playing in all sorts of mad positions, and that's why he's not really developed. Elijah Morrison, again, has done very, very, very well down at Cambridge. I think he's in line to be in and around the first team as well. A Camrich, we will look to sell. We renewed his contract just because he's got a bit of value about him. Charlie Frith, this could be the season that he then becomes in the first team. Because to be honest with you, if an offer comes in for Borza, I'm happy to let him go. He just does well wherever he goes. Trevor Grinso will obviously come back in and around the fold. Edward Kozik we'll look to sell. Deli's out of contract. We're not getting Gusto back. Maguire, Claremont, Kenny Doherty, Sam Bell, we will look to get rid of. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the background and squad building I've got to be very, very careful of. But I'm going to stop waffling and we're going to go to the game against Brentford. Bit of rejigging in the under-18s. They've pretty much stuck with what we said. But they put Jevon out on the right and Bush out on the left. I'll stick with that, Bartley up front. I'll stick with that. Whether Bush is an inverted winger or not remains to be seen. But he is only 15, so it won't really stifle his development all too much. Just to touch again on development, Trevor Grinsell played as a ball-winning midfielder, which is what we've always trained him as. Doesn't play there for Cambridge. Played for Ireland under-21s against Finland under-21s and got a goal and an assist. A volley from 21 yards out. Took a deflection, though, so we're not going to bother watching it. I think it just goes to show that when they're in and around better players, they play better and they perform better because the rest of the players sort of lift them up. I think that's the sign of a good player. Dango Utara is confirmed. He will sign on the dotted line on the 9th of June 2026. We've got our winger back, the one we were looking at a long, long time. They just wanted too much money. We couldn't loan him in. They just let him rot on the bench and in the reserves, to be honest. So I think it's a bit silly. But we've got a good player in, someone who can cover a couple of different positions, is technical enough to play a more controlled style of football. So I think he's a no-brainer. Kenny Bush scored on his under-18s debut. I know a lot of people don't really pay a lot of attention to this, but when you're doing a save and like you're keeping youth development at like the forefront of your mind and whatnot, it's always good to have an idea of what your under-18s are doing. Matej Shin's been capped by Czech Republic, or Czechia, sorry. Well done, son. How? He's injured. Hang on. Did they play him when he was injured? Those bastards, they did. What's the point? Okay. So he's going to be out a little bit longer and probably won't be in for the Brentford game. Everyone's favourite time, it's youth players being set for release. We have actually set a couple of ours for release as well. Let's have a little look. Who have we set for release? Seb Palmer-Houlden, Charlton Blair, who actually did, he did make a couple of appearances. He did score a goal for us, has not kicked on anywhere near as much as we wanted to. Jamie Knight-Labelle, who we did sign a new contract to last year, but I think we've got some better players coming through the under-18s who can be pulled up. And Seb Palmer-Houlden, who hasn't really played for the under-21s this year. He did play a lot last season. But yeah, we've got a couple. They're still happy with the tactics. They're still quite happy with where we are. Again, I don't think, unless we capitulate, we're on 42 points. The magic point mark is 40, isn't it? I don't think we're going to be dragged into the relegation zones, but we have got this game against Brentford to do. All these, Fraser, Can, Akoto, they've all accepted. So let's just have a little look at what these players are chatting. So Steve Carlisle is an absolute no. He's the guy from Hull. He's getting an instant termination. Mr. Carlisle, see you later. Next up, we've got Wael Bajui, who was from Man City's academy and physically is very good. He's only 17. What are they saying? I don't think he's bad, I think he's like Morgan was. I'm going to sign him. And we're going to train him up. What's he on? A 2-year deal. I'm fine with that. So we're going to bring him in. Lee Brown is from Bournemouth's academy. He's very much the same, but doesn't have the mental or physical attributes that Bajui had. This guy looks amazing. Look at his hair. Stephanie Ilbodu, the Berkanabe left back, who was from Arsenal's academy. He looks good. And we do have an influx of left backs, to be honest, but physically, mental attributes at that age are fantastic. I'm going to sign him. I'm absolutely going to sign him. And we will loan him out straight away. Obviously, we've got a couple of affiliates knocking about. Hakala was from Arsenal as well. He's a no-no. Finnish lad, not even capped at like under 18s. That's how you can tell he's not very good. Billy Phillips from Arsenal again. Physically, yeah. Technically and mentally, he's a no. So we'll terminate your trial, Mr. Phillips. Akoto, he looked quite good. I did have a little look at him before. Only 3 stars, but he's only 17. He doesn't turn 18 until the end of this season. I think a 3-star player is like what Estrada is. So I think we sign him. We're going to sign Akoto. And again, it just tops up your youth system, if anything else. Melia Fraser from Wolves. Why are they letting him go? He's susceptible to injuries. Oh, he's very susceptible to injuries. Goodness me. That poor lad, because he looks really good. Did we take a punt? Did we give him a 1-year deal? I think he's great. Do you know what? We're going to go for him. We're going to give him a 2-year deal. Let's Ward suggest it. 2-year deal. That's fine. We're going to bring Melia Fraser in because I think he could be absolutely fantastic if he can sort his injury proneness out. Michael Can, a ball-winning midfielder from Leicester's academy, is 18 years of age. I don't really like him. And he's quite scary, so he's a no. So Michael Can is a no. Ferend Felgate from Liverpool, a 6'6" left back or centre back, a wide centre back if ever I saw one. He looks physical monster again. If they've got good physicality and good mental attributes, I think they're always worth a punt because technically they can improve quite quickly when they start playing games. So I think they're the guys we're going to try and sign. Under 21s have got a game coming up. Obviously, Baird, Mully, Knight-Labelle, Lapham, Borza continuing his return to fitness. Yeboah out on the left, Morgan up front. Morgan, I mean, can we have a look at his progress? He's had quite a big jump up, a lot of greens, a lot of plus ones in there. As his dribbling's definitely gone up, his agility's gone up, his pace has gone up, his off the ball's gone up. He's done quite well. He's got a goal and an assist. Oh no, just an assist. But he did come on in the FA Cup again. He's played 2 FA Cup games for us and a 6.95 across those 2 games. Good lad. He played the full second half against Arsenal in the quarter-final, and he played well. He played well. We went to the 2 up top. We were losing 2-0, so I thought, you know what, we've got nothing to lose. Let's just throw the kid on, give him game time. Again, we will look to sign him up to a new contract. Do you know what? I might even just do that straight away so I don't forget. Sign him up to a new contract, get him out on loan, and try and not stifle his development. So the analysts seem to think that Brentford are going to play like a counter-attacking style. Apparently they play gegenpress, but it looks like they're going to play counter-attack. So I don't know whether we start with this. We start with the 4-3-3. They're obviously not very familiar with it. I think that's the problem we would have. Or do we literally do our trusty like counter-attacking system? Estrada and Ericsson would swap. Freuler goes there, and Estrada goes in there. So it would be Sanchez, Di Pietri, Ericsson, Cannon, Belic, Krasik, Roberts, Steve Gusto. Not Timo Horn. Go away, Timo Horn. Borza is back in full training now, which is quite nice to see. Raekwon Nelson is getting game time today for the under-21s, as is Ephraim Yeboah. Morgan on the bench, that's interesting. That's an interesting one. I think we stick with this. The 2 centre mids are performing very, very well. Obviously, I think it's quite harsh on Vledon Hodze, but he is just coming back from injury. Francelinho Dew has been playing well when he's been coming on. Tom Cannon is sort of indifferent. He's got 2 goals and 1 assist, though, so I don't really want to stop him from playing. But this is just a normal direct counter-attack. You'll see the familiarities like 3/4. If we go to like our normal, what we normally do, it's just over 3/4, but they're very fluid with everything else. So I think we stick with this for now. We change it up slightly, but still play on the counter attack. If they are going to play like a gegenpress, we want to counter them. That's what we're good at. We haven't quite implemented the new style yet, so we don't want to do that just yet. So the under-21s played the counter-attacking system against Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough slightly better than us in the under-21s, and they blew them out the water. A 4-1 win, 2 goals for Trey Van Mully, which is fantastic. Goal for Yeboah, and a goal for George Morgan, who is on the brink of signing a new 2-year deal. Andre Borza played the full 90 and looked good, got a 7.4. So we're cooking, we're getting back there. Going to make a late change and put Cozy Dewberry on the left as an inverted winger. Inverted wingers on the side their natural foot is actually does work quite well because they sort of sit here and just ping balls in. It also now allows for a natural overlap on that side. Di Pietri really needs to perform. There is no Mason Greenwood today. He's picked up an injury. His first of the season is going to be out for about 3 weeks. So Di Pietri is going to get a lot more game time, it would seem. Christian Eriksen thinks he's going to have a battle with Brian and Bermo. You're playing attacker mid, mate. So it's a match we think we should be winning. We start with the 4-2-3-1. Very indifferent form, very Christmas form, that, isn't it? Win-loss, draw, win-loss. Brentford, lots of losses. 4-2-3-1 for them. They're playing, it looks like a counter-attacking system as well, but it could be that gegenpress. I tend to side with what the manager's preference is than what the media say on this. So, I mean, and quite instantly you can see they're quite high up the pitch. That was from kickoff as well. But it looks like we've got a chance straight away. We must have won the ball back from then going forward. It's Di Pietri. Oh, Damsgaard knocks it on and Fally Diouf picks it up. But don't be afraid or ashamed to go back and that's a great knock by Gusto and Tom Cannon. What a finish. A proper poacher, this lad. What a ball by Gusto. Don't be afraid to go back and use the tactics that are in the game. The developers who make the game are lovers of the game. It's not like EA, you just do it for money. They love the game. They play a lot of the game. You only have to look at like Jack on his YouTube channel. They play it a lot. They understand it a lot. And if you don't necessarily understand tactics all that well, go back to it, reuse it. We've changed back to this. I mean, obviously that could just potentially be that Brentford aren't very good this season. But we've gone back to just the normal counter-attacking system and straight away we look a lot more comfortable and competent than we have done in the previous games. I'm saying this now, they're going to score. But we've looked a lot better from what I've seen already. A chance for Mbuemo, who smashes it wide. The fact Tony's playing as a pressing forward as well, and they've had a lot of possession. They're not playing counter-attack, they're playing gegenpress. So we've made the right decision, I think. There's Malo Gusto again. Estrada, good turn, and now finds Belic, who might hit one. Oh, he's gone backwards. I thought he was gearing up there. Here's Roberts, who slips it through for Kratzig. There's a ball in there. Kratzig, still Kratzig, pulls it across. And a Mario Koscielny with his 4th of the season. And I think that is Kratzig breaking the assist record for us. I think that's him breaking it. I think he's on 12 now for the season. Kratzig gets in there. I mentioned the natural overlap with an inverted winger playing on his stronger foot on the same side. It allows that natural overlap. And Kratzig gets in there. Lovely pullback. The ball through in the first place was sensational from Roberts. We have changed him up to a ball-playing defender because he does have... Oh, good tackle, Tom. He does have the capability to do just that, what you've just seen. As Cannon loses the ball, Jan out now to Rico Henry. Henry, that's some run. Norgard, big header, well saved. I think we do have to remember that although they are not performing and they are bottom of the league, there are some very good players in that team. Kratzig throws it long to Cannon. He's flicked it. That's the first time I've seen them flick it. Knock back to Koscielny. Kratzig again. Ball across to Eriksson. Oh, he should score. Christian Eriksson with a big chance to make it 3. Eriksson now. Will he shoot? He will! He's hit the post and Kratzig's effort's blocked on the way to goal. Brentford don't really have an answer for what we're doing going forward at the minute. Got another throw in late in the first half as Kratzig goes to Koscielny. Back to Kratzig. Belic. Good run from the Belgian. He's found Pietri. That is a lovely touch. And the ball is just as good, but Koscielny loops a header. He should be knocking that back into Tom Cannon. He looped his header high and wide. High and wide? It was just high. It wasn't high and wide. It is Saud to Ivan Toney. Norgard. Mbuemo. And I thought a set-piece routine had outdone us. Mbuemo should be hitting the target, but it took a deflection. Damsgaard's corner. Whips it in, headed away by Cannon, and then cleared by Tom Cannon. They've got more attacking. Fine by me. We are playing counter-attacking football. That is fine by me. I was thinking that they're bottom of the league. They need to throw everything at us. Really, they need some points. No better time to face us, who have been in a bit of indifferent form. So yeah, I'm not surprised that they're trying to throw everything at us now. We're going to bring Alvin Sanchez on. He's been performing well lately. Has got an assist to his name as well this season. So we're going to bring him in. We'll keep an eye on Belic. He's not having his best game, and Koscielny maybe isn't fully fit to see the game out. Tom Cannon only moans about starting games. He scored a goal, so we're going to bring him off, and we're going to bring Francelinho due on, bring him on as the advance forward, and see if he can continue his good form. I've figured out that's sort of how I'm going to have to combat Dew and Cannon. Is Dew doesn't mind not starting. Cannon does. So Cannon starts games. Dew, he's got his goal. Dew can come on and play the second 45, second 20, whatever it is, until sort of Cannon gives up crying. And Kratzig is flying down the left there, straight from kickoff, and he's whipped one in for Pietri. He doesn't win his header. He really should be beating Rico Henry at the back post there, Pietri. As Damsgaard looks to bring it away, and Gusto does very well. It's another set piece which Damsgaard will take. Ivan Toney, his 13th of the season. They've got an early goal back, and that's what they would have been speaking about at half-time, as Damsgaard plays a lovely ball into Ivan Toney. Just a great header. To be honest, I don't think Tanavanu did very well there. He probably should do a little bit better with that. But it is what it is, and they've all kicked off because I told them. I tried to encourage them. You just conceded, lads. Come on now. Belic isn't playing well. Let's get Belic off. He's not having a good game. Let's bring Hodson in. He can continue his return from injury. On the right-hand side, we don't really have an option unless we were to bring Wembanyama on as a winger. He can play winger though, can't he? He can. Sod it. Let's go for it. Wembanyama, you're going to play as a right winger for the rest of this game. If anything can help us double up on the right-hand side against Damsgaard, who's having a very good game. That being said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell him to mark Damsgaard. So he just tracks back and follows him. Here's Saud. Mbuemo whips it in for Damsgaard, and Tarnavani made a great decision to come and claim that. And he's gone long straight away, looking for Alvin Sanchez. Pinnock wins it, but Sanchez is a bit of a mess. We somehow come away with the ball. Kratzig again, he's having some game, isn't he, Kratzig? Brilliant performance. Finds Estrada with a right-footed ball into the middle. Hayden Roberts now. Kratzig, Cozy Dubry. Building well. Into Estrada. This is good football. He's looking for Francelinho. Oh, he's hit the post, but he was offside. That, again, I think just shows that, obviously, we're talking about maybe going to a possession style. We can play football. We've got a very technical team. We just choose not to do it at the moment. Just going to try and encourage them again, because there's a few lads that just look a bit out of sorts. Oh, what is wrong with you lot? Francelinho is having a dreadful half. Gusto's throw, and that's a penalty. Stuart Atwell gives it. They're just looking to see if it was in the box. It looked on the line. On the line is the box. They're going to check it. Stuart Atwell, no penalty. Well, I think he was in the area there. I really do. Cozy Dubry's looking for Roberts. It's headed behind for another corner. Sanchez looked in the area. He was on the line at least. Estrada's taken this corner. That's an interesting one. Estrada's delivery. That's some ball. It's headed away by Janelt. And that's the end of highlight. Shockingly, we've only had 3 shots on target. I'm not too happy with that, as Francelinho battles away to win it back. It's Francelinho due, and it's well saved by David Raya. Changed him up to a complete forward, which he plays a lot for Portugal, and nearly paid off instantly as Estrada. Who's he looking for now? Gone far post again. It's headed away as Francelinho picks it up. There's a man on the edge, and Cozy Dubry uses him. It's headed off the line by Saud. And the Saudi fullback, who actually was on trial at Bristol, saves them. That saved the game for them. Estrada's corner again. It's another cracking delivery. It's headed away by Ayer. That's definitely something I need to look at in the summer. We are not a tall team. We're really not. I think we're 15th in comparison to the rest of the league. Estrada's on this free kick. He's a little set piece boy, isn't he? Headed away and cleared by Mbuemo. Now Tony to Kevin Schade. He is quick. Kevin Schade running at his man. Pulls it across. And somehow Wembanyama kept it out. But only just. And Ivan Toney equalises. We've not got anyone who can change the game. The first block by Wembanyama was great. And then it just falls back to Ivan Toney. And the header off the line, off that set piece, now looks even more vital, as we have to try once again to take the lead. Cozy Dubry to Sanchez. Now Hodzer. Roberts. Kratzig. We've missed so many chances. Shooting's been well off. Estrada. Out to Kratzig. This is good football. Kratzig down the line. Nice early delivery. It's Wembanyama at the back post, and Raya makes the save. Alvin Sanchez and Francelinho have not done well. Gusto's delivery. Francelinho knocks it down, and Raya claims it again. Brentford are just claiming every set piece. I think we can feel hard done by, to be honest. We knew they'd come at us. We knew they would. The finishing and don't you dare. All 6'6" of them carrying the ball. We can counter. No, we can't. That's very frustrating. Nowhere near enough shots on target. Dew and Sanchez, absolutely dreadful. I'm telling them it's shameful. We were 2-0 up against bottom of the league at home. Not good enough. Very disappointing result, which leaves us in 12th. The Palace are still within touching distance, but not too much. Ivan Toney's it's given Brentford the lifeline there, hasn't he? Very, 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 very poor result, all things considered. Dew and Sanchez, really, really poor. The pair of them. I think they've taken out the ability to. You can't find them. You can only criticise them now. But it doesn't have the same effect. Francelinho, you need it as well. One player criticised last game. Squandered a lot of chances. Tom Cannon never though. Tom Cannon, again, this is why we're picking him. He's still bagging goals. He's on his 7 goals for the season, as is Dew. But Cannon, I think, is just a bit more consistent. If you look at the form, he's hitting a bit of consistency now, Tom Cannon. So we can't really keep dropping him. It's not really fair to be doing that. We have got the game against Southampton next. I did say we would come back for these games because it would give us an idea of where we are. Away to Southampton will be the next game. It worked. Tom Cannon has dropped his lack of football concern. If we then go to the dynamics and there's no issues, everybody's happy. That's why we just kept playing him, but he has hit a bit of a purple patch of form. So we will continue to play him. Tom Cannon, Grinsell, again, not an amazing appearance for Cambridge. Cannon and Dew. I really like Dew. I really like him. I think he can get better. I just don't know what he is. I don't know if he's an advanced forward. I don't know if he's a complete forward. Is it worth playing him as a poacher? Moves into channels, beats the offside trap, tries first time shots. I think we do. I think we play him as a poacher and try that. If not, we will start playing him out wide on the right because he has played there a couple of times for us now and done quite well. In terms of the trials that you can see ending there, all 5 have decided to sign in. So we have now got 5 new players coming in. Obviously, Kratzig signing his contract. Dango has signed his. But we've got Melia Fraser, Akoto, Ibudu, Felgate, and Weil Bajui coming in. That should bolster the under-21s, allows us to shift a few things around, maybe send more players out from the under-21s for development loans, or even sell them and try and get a profit on them. George Morgan has signed his new 2-year contract extension, still has about 1.5 stars worth of potential ability in him. 4.5 stars, so 3.5 stars is what they're classing Dew and Cannon as. So he could be as good as them. So definitely he will be one that we will look to loan to either Lincoln or Tranmere, depending on how they get on. Tanavanu's, there's a lot of bruised shins at the minute. They're bloody snapping each other in training. Speaking of profit, though, if we look at our finances for the season, we have £39 million up. We've made £1.26 million profit. We made £22 million profit this season. We've got a transfer budget of £24 million. Wages, obviously, the expenditure's gone up quite significantly, easily passing FFP. Only a £2 million transfer debt, which I imagine will go up when Dango comes in. But we're looking very good. I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of the finances. Have you seen many people go up from the Championship to the Prem and make such a profit? I haven't. Obviously, they make the money on the TV deal and whatnot, but pure profit is pure profit. So they think then tactical to match focus session. To give you an opportunity to present analysis and insights to your squad based on the upcoming opponent, these sessions will allow your players to be better prepared during these phases of play. So they think out of possession, Southampton are going to play on the front foot and play control possession. That's fine. They want us to attack corners and then examine throw-ins on how we can do them. So they think the only changes we should make is Freuler coming back in and then Diaz. I'm not going to bring Diaz in, but I do agree with Freuler coming back in. Bench-wise then, I think Borza can continue in the under-21s just for now. Shin is nowhere near match fit, and Raekwon Nelson we might call up to the bench just because we didn't really have an option off the bench in the last game. We don't need 2 right wingers on there, so we will drop you Greenwood, we will put an additional focus of general rehab on you. So this is your team then. We will probably try and give some game time to George Morgan. I think he deserves it. I think he deserves a sniffing it around the first team. Amiyumi Seiko, again, what are you saying? Unhappy with from backing down to Tom Cannon? Didn't back down. He backed down. Oh, God. D. Pietri's wanted by Al Ittihad, and they're very interested. So watch this space, because that would obviously mean we then open the door to Dango coming back in. He's not been very good, Di Pietri, has he? So if we can bin him off for more money, well, I mean, we only paid 8 mil, so if we can bin him off for A, a profit, and B, more money than we're signing Dango Utara for, I think that represents very, very good business. So Russell Martin, with his pervert football, likes to play tiki-taka. Why am I trading up a tiki-taka control possession? I don't like control possession. Very leggy team. They will run through a brick wall, that team. So that's probably why they play the way they do. It says they're going to play on the front foot and look to attack, so we will keep the counter-attacking system in place for now. If we do need to change anything up, we can go attacking ourselves and go to the 4-2-4. Maybe we do that when we bring Morgan on. I think having him play up front on his own in the Premier League game is probably a bit unfair. So yeah, we'll probably go to the 4-2-4. As Freuler steps across and stops Jan Kuto. Driving forward with the ball. St Mary's away then, a stadium I absolutely hate. I went there when Koeman managed Everton and we lost 2-0. And Josh Sims scored the goal. And I remember having an argument with a Southampton fan on the way out as McTominay scores. A Southampton fan on the way out, because they were making out like he was like the next coming of fucking Matt Letizia, and he was shite. Awful stadium. And speaking of awful, this marking on the corner, there he is. Drifts in, unmarked, 1-0 Southampton. Cozy Dubry. What have we been cooking? Nothing. Kratzig to Diouf. Back to Kratzig. No, he's gone to Cozy Dubry! Oh, Kratzig! Blocked away again! And McTominay wins the ball. That's unlucky. There's 2 chances, 2 sniffs at goal there from the 2 left-sided players. And Southampton have another corner. Solbakken put it straight on McTominay's head from the other side, and he's whipped it in for some reason. Look for Sulemana. Here's Fofana now. Goes all the way back to Loco. Solbakken. McTominay. Good block. And we can counter. No, we can't. Why does it do that with the highlights, man? Shea's playing as an inverted wing-back, so he's sort of sitting in here. So there's actually quite a lot of space out on the left. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what we're known for, is attacking that left-hand side. As Ericsson takes his corner, free kick. Kratzig's lost the ball. That's poor. And there's a counter-attack for Kamaldeen Sulemana, who's rapid and drags a shot just wide of this far post. That's a good effort, you know. Right, long throw in to be taken by Shea. That's a great throw. And McTominay's header is just over the bar. And this is not really working, to be honest. We're not creating. We've not got a lot of the ball. We're fouling them more. We're not even winning set pieces. And that's sort of our bag, isn't it? That's our bread and butter. So I think second half, we do literally just change up to that 4-2-4. We definitely need changes in the middle. Di Pietri's just not performing again. Here's Shea. He's got a massive throw on him, Shea. Looking for Lianco. Knocks it on. It's 2-0. It's Marcus Solbakken. I think he's on, to be honest with you. I didn't see much wrong with that. It was Di Pietri marking him. He's been dreadful. And it's a goal, yeah. He didn't look offside. I think... This is game over, isn't it? Nobody's having a good game here. 10 shots, 5 on target in the first half. Lads, absolutely dreadful, to be honest. Get your acts together. We're going to change up to the 4-2-4. And yeah, that's fine. Cozy DB, that's fine. Ericsson off. We're going to bring George Morgan on, as well as Francelinho due. and just sort of do this. Hodzer, I think, needs to come in for Estrada as a ball winner. On support, Kratzig, Roberts, Juice, Gusto. Di Pietri's been just piss awful. So he's going to come off and Raekwon Nelson's going to come on. So back to what got us to the dance in the first place. The 4-2-4. Very attacked. Hodzer. Fucking hell, Hodzer. And Nelson does well. I think Nelson's pace will probably do him well in this league. The Premier League currently and in the game, it's not very fast. There's not a lot of very fast players in there. Freuler looks to work something short to Cozy Dubry. Knocks it through. Raekwon Nelson. Pull it back. Oh, he's gone to Freuler. Cozy Dubry. Roberts. Oh, it's deflected. It's in. And do you know what? He had the bottle to go for it. And he's created something from nothing. So it's Nelson back to Cozy Dubry. Sorry, to Freuler. It should have went to Cozy Dubry. Plays it into Roberts. It's a pot shot at most. Takes a massive deflection. And nestles into the back of the net. And we're back in with a chance. And we've got them pinned quite far back into their half now. Holbacken, who's run the game really, so back in. Him and McTominay. You've got to win that. It's a heavy touch, lads. You've got to get on it. Fofana. Oh, no. Fofana's going to run through and square it, and it's a goal. What are we doing? The pair of them took very fucking heavy touches. The pair of them. Both centre-mids towed the ball 10 yards forwards with their touch. That touch is shit, and this touch is shit, and we're nowhere near the pair of them. Why is the youth not tackling? Fucking hell. I can't believe that. I cannot get my head around that, why they've not thrown a foot in there. It's absolutely dreadful. It's dreadful. Right, Roberts now with a deep free kick. Goes short to Hodzer. Ball winning midfield in my arse. Freuler. Roberts. There's a couple of runs from deep there, and Roberts just held on to it. And Kratzig now to Francelinho. Now George Morgan holds it up really well and finds Gusto. Now Raekwon Nelson whips it in. It's George Morgan. Oh, it's well saved. That was good football. Nice combination between Morgan and Nelson. We've got a throw in which Kratzig will take. Short to Morgan. Lovely touch from him. He's found Kratzig again. He swings it in. Romeo Freuler's in there. It falls for Nelson. Here's Hodzer. Get your shot away. He's hit the post and Cozy Dubry can't get there. Oh, come on. There's something in it for us. I can smell it. There's something in this game. Sanchez, Bellic, Seko, Wambam, Gomo. Let's bring Wambam on. Wambam, thank you, ma'am. Let's bring him on. There's something in the water. I really do believe that. Nelson's having a great game since coming on. There's definitely something in this for us, you know. And we've got a corner, which Freuler will take. Who can he pick out? It's due at the far post. It's headed away. Roberts back in and smashed away. Francelinho should be doing better, really. Wembam, Gomo, trying to play it, losing it. Oh, no. Oh, no. As Southampton looks to counter with Solbakken. Now Shea. Yanquoto. Get over to him. Get over to him. Bloody hell. Nelson look along for George Morgan, who will do very well to keep that in and doesn't. But it falls for Nelson. He plays another long ball forward for George Morgan. Brings it down well. Back to Raekwon Nelson. Ball in for Francelinho, who heads over the bar. Wembangomo. Francelinho. There's not long left. Plays it to Cozy Dubry on the edge of the area. Finds Roberts again. And Hayden Roberts has been on that bloody shake of this match. Going to be taken by Kratzig. Short to Cozy Dubry. Poor first touch. Morgan gives it away. And that'll be the end of the highlight, won't it? Don't like this nonsense we're doing to the edge of the box. We're not Barcelona, Mr. Set Piece Man. You need to realise that. And it's going to be your end of game highlight. I said there was something in the water. I don't know what it was, but it went for us. Out for the Southampton throw. They'll just waste time, and that'll be that. Goalkeeper's not covered himself in any glory these past two games. maybe it's time to start playing Kavlina, our new goalkeeper. Freuler not performing very well. Cozy Dubry and Rayquan Nelson done well. And oddly enough, George Morgan didn't look out of place at 6.7 after playing 45 minutes. He didn't look out of place in the league. So the result leaves us in 12th, still somehow in 12th. I think safety is confirmed, to be completely honest. We've hit the magic point mark. We need to get back to what we were doing to teams. I'm going to save this direct style. Save it as pig ball. So, and I think we need to put that back into the into this, and then change these back up to what was working for that. A ball winner on support, and I'm going to do an anchor on defend. Diam's dribble less. I'm going to do anchor on defend. That means Kratzer can go forward a little bit more. So if we put that pig ball on, there we go. And that's what I think. That's what we're going to stick with, and that's how we're going to work around it. But I'm going to leave that there. Disappointing results in both games, to be honest. But if I'm the main aim of the save is to sort of develop people and get them ready for first team football and whatnot. I think George Morgan's performed very well, to be honest. He played that ball into Francilino as well, and Francilino should have scored. He linked up very well on that side with Rayquan Nelson, who again has come in and he looks at home. He looks at home in the Prem, 6.82 off the bench. He doesn't look poor. I think his physical attributes and his flair just help him out so much. So I think we're going to start bringing him in. I think the time is up for Valentin Di Pietri not performing at a level that we would expect for this division in the slightest, to be honest with you. And then I think Belic needs to come back in there as the ball winner because that's his natural role. Yeah, we'll leave that there. Again, let's just change that ball winner on support. We'll leave that there. Thank you very much for watching. When we come back, it'll more than likely be after the season is finished because, again, I think we're pretty much done now. I think we're done and dusted. Don't think there's an awful lot more we can do. We're pretty safe. We're pretty safe. We've made some good signings. We've had a very good first season in the Premier League. As good a season as any promoted club could hope for. So, I mean, look at that. Hayden Roberts, key tackles, 16. Top of the Premier League. He has ducked to water, as is Cozy Dubry, a couple of others. Tom Cannon's performing well now. Yeah, we were under pressure a lot. We didn't complete many passes. They were completed in deeper areas. Diouf was at the heart of everything good. Tom Cannon failed to link up with anyone. Ericsson was isolated. How was he isolated? Not managing to combine with any other players. Oh, wow. And Gusto and Di Pietri don't play well on that side together. That's interesting, you know. And we're getting shots off in the area, man. Three blocked. One hit the woodwork. Three off target. One was saved. That's not good enough, is it? Our shooting is really poor at the minute. Really poor. Something for me to take heed of. But anyway, we will leave that at that. Oh, I've got a new contract. Oh, lovely. New contract signed. I'll take that. I'll just take that. We're going to stop training this nonsense. This passing. It's not for us, is it? Let's clear that. And then I think what we would be doing is like wing play or vertical tiki-taka if we're going to play like that. But I think wing play, because it's more direct. The fans like direct football. We can train the five back and keep that in there. We'll keep that as like a wing play tactic. Maybe train it in the four. Yeah, bit disappointing episode, to be honest. But we're going to leave it there. We'll see you all at the end of the season for the review. So to see how we did ending up and see if we managed to do anything spectacular in the meantime. But I seriously doubt it. But thanks very much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you all next time.